Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Psychology Class for All. We will discuss variance in psychology. How much do we really differ? Imagine you and your friends are throwing pebbles at a target. If everyone's pebble hits close to the center, the average, your throws are consistent. That's low variance. If the pebble are all over the places, some far left, some far right, that's high variance. In psychology, if we are studying stress levels, anxiety scores, or reaction times, variance helps us in understanding whether people respond similarly or very differently. For example, two therapy methods may give the same average improvement, but if one method leads to wildly different results, it has higher variance and may be less reliable. Psychological data is full of differences. Some students stay calm in stress tests, others panic. So, to understand this spread, we need variance, a foundational concept behind almost all statistical tool in psychology. We can define as variance measures how much the values in a data set deviate from the mean, on average, by squaring the deviations. Think of variations like this. Variance measures how spread out the responses are from the average. It's like asking how far on average is each score from the center and how spread out are the results. Now there is a formula for calculation of variance from ungrouped data. That is summation deviation divided x square and divided by its total number of scores. Here there is a table depicting the raw scores in column 1, that is x, like 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12. It is 10 just after the 8 and just before the 12. By mistake it has been written as 19 over there. So it is 10. So the step 1 would be the mean calculation, that is total of x divided by n, that is 40, divided by 5, that is 8. Step 2 would be deviation calculations from the mean, and the formula for the same would be the x minus m, each value subtracted by its mean value. So likewise the values comes are minus 4, minus 2, 0, 2, n, 4. These are the calculations, like 4 minus 8 is equal to minus 4 and so on. Third step is squares of deviations. So 4 into 4 is 16. Likewise, all the numbers got his square and the total, it's a square and the total is again 40. And now the variance comes as 8. On average, each score deviates 8 units squared from the mean. Now variance calculation from group data. This is the example table of all the calculations. First column is the class interval. So, and the second column is for frequency, and the third column is the midpoint of the class intervals. So now first step would be finding the mean. So the formula is for mean calculation is summation fx divided by n. So now the mean is 27. Then second step is to compute deviation. we have already deviated x, we have already done by subtracting mean into the midpoint. Then step 3 would be compute squared deviated x, and the step 4 is multiply this squared deviated x with frequency, that is in the next column, and then calculate variance. So the calculated variance, or the formula is for group data, it's summation f deviated x square divided by n, and the answer is 56. Now about importance of variance in psychology. In psychology, variance tell us how consistent or diverse behavior, emotions, or test responses are. So it can be used in understanding individual differences in cognitive performance, measuring treatment consistency in clinical trials, to check reliability of psychological tests, or to compare emotional variability in different groups. For example, in a study on test anxiety, two groups have the same average anxiety score but different variations. That we can see in this picture. That first picture is showing the low SD. That means group A, or the first picture, is tightly clustered or close to the mean, that is more stable group. And the second group is having highly spread, that means that is showing the more variability in terms of responses. Now there is a comparison of variance versus standard deviation that we will be learning in the next class, standard deviation. So on to some features, like variance has got squared units and standard deviation is same units as the data. The use of variance is the foundation of SD. Just on the basis of the variance formula, we used to calculate the SD by having some more refined version of formula. Standard deviation is much easier to interpret. In psychology, variance is used to test design in ANOVA. In psychology, standard deviation is used for reporting the variation. So variance is the building block of SD, ANOVA, t-test, and many more psychological statistics. So quick summary can be understood like variance is the differences from the average. Low variance, that means most people are similar. High variance means people vary a lot. It helps it helps psychologists to see consistency in response or behavior. So next time you study how students behave, remember variance helps psychologists to see how spread out people really are, not just their average behavior. Want more easy explainer videos on stats in psychology? Like, share, subscribe, and drop your score variance below. Thank you.